This is what smart e-commerce brands are doing in 2026 with their email marketing. And you want to be smart, right? You don't want to be silly. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use email marketing to make sure that in 2026 you actually have an advantage over the competition and you're on top of best practice for email and SMS marketing. My name is Gavin. I run an email and SMS marketing agency, and this is all I do, email and SMS marketing. So if you have any questions, chuck them in the comment section down below. Subscribe to my channel. It literally makes my day because I have nothing else going on. Also, there's a bunch of free resources in the description of this video, so check those out. Subscribe to my newsletter. But without wasting any more of your time, let's get into the video and let's make you smarter when it comes to email and SMS marketing. Okay, so 2026, this is what you're going to want to be doing with your sign-up forms, okay? First things first is you don't want to have just one sign-up form for your entire store. Also, I don't recommend using any of those third-party sign-up form tools. It's a waste of money. You're going to get pretty much everything you need within Klaviyo, unless you want to use a tool like FormToro, which I recommend. Check it out, FormToro, which is actually, it's going to change your mind about pop-ups, but if you want to use anything other than FormToro, just use Klaviyo. It's going to get you 90% of the way there. If you want to learn about FormToro, by the way, not an affiliate of them or anything, comment down below. But this is what you're going to want to do for your sign-up forms. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have multiple forms showing up at different stages in the customer journey. First thing you want is you want to have a desktop and a mobile version of pop-up showing up after 8 seconds. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you want to give people another opportunity to subscribe to email marketing, having a flyout that shows up after 45 seconds. So these forms here, for example, this form here and this form here, okay, they're literally identical. So the 8-second pop-up, make sure it shows up after 8 seconds, shows up after 8 seconds. This is a pop-up form. Then you want to have another form that's a flyout that shows up after 45 seconds. Okay, take a look at this. Styles, or rather targeting and behavior rather. If I go back here, 45 seconds, okay, and it shows up on these URLs, products, checkout, cart. What you're doing is you're giving people another opportunity to subscribe to email marketing after they close this first form. What that's going to do is it's going to get people to see your offer more, increase your on-site conversion rates, and increase the rate of list growth, which doesn't actually matter, but that's a whole different topic. But you get the idea. You want to have pop-ups showing up at multiple stages in the customer journey to make sure that you can actually increase the rate of your list growth. So having a pop-up form that's after 8 seconds and 45 seconds, so really just rethinking your approach to pop-up forms in general. The next thing you want to do is you want to have a third pop-up like this one, okay, that literally reminds people of the offer that you've given them. See, it's a flyout here. This is only showing to people who have already subscribed via one of these forms. You remind people of the discount code that we know they haven't used. How do we know they haven't used it? Well, let me show you. You go into targeting and behavior here, and you create a segment of people who have subscribed but not placed an order. And you make sure that this form here only shows to these people. And what that does is it ensures that they see your first welcome series offer, which will increase the on-site conversion rate, increase the subscription to conversion rate, i.e. how many will go from subscriber to first-time customer, which is priority number one with email marketing, because you'll make up for any loss in the 15% revenue or 20% or 10% off on the repeat order rate. The second order typically has a higher AOV and is more profitable because you're not converting cold traffic anymore, you're converting warm traffic, which means your cost per acquisition is lower. This is what you want to be focusing on, having a flyout that captures, or rather reiterates, the discount code. So 2026, future thinking, rethink your sign-up forms. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you're thinking about campaigns and making sure that you're introducing this offer in your campaigns to everybody who's not purchased. So if you have like a regular content calendar where you have an email going out, and I'm going to go full screen here just so you can see that I'm being for real. When you have your campaigns, you want to have your regular content calendar. You want to send your campaigns to your engaged audience. But what you want to do is you want to send 2 variations of campaign. One variation goes to people who are engaged and customers, and the other variation goes to engaged non-customers. Okay? What you do is you send those 2 people the exact same campaign. Okay? But the only difference is for people who are engaged non-customers, you include the welcome series offer, which is this offer right here in the top of the email. Let me quickly show you how you can do that. Let's imagine this is a campaign that we're sending out, right? Obviously, it's just placeholder text, but you would send this email as a campaign to your engaged customers, so anybody who is engaged and a customer, and you duplicate the campaign and you send it to engaged non-customers as well. The only difference is at the very top here, you'd say, hey, don't forget to use your discount code, which is the welcome series offer. And what you're doing there is you're reiterating the offer to people who have not placed an order before. And you're trying to get that offer in front of them as much as you possibly can, because you're trying to maximize the subscription to conversion rate. So those are the two things that you want to do. Number one is you want to have sign-up forms that target people at different stages in the customer journey and remind them of their discount code. You also want to be having campaigns that are speaking to customers and non-customers differently, reiterating a welcome series offer for non-customers. And then finally, what you want to be doing is you want to make sure that pretty much every single one of your flows treats customers and non-customers differently based off of their purchase behavior. Let me illustrate that really quickly. So this is an abandoned checkout, which outlines what the abandoned cart flow looks like. Here, all you're doing is you're sending customers, existing customers, down one side of the flow, non-customers down the other side of the flow. All you do is you say, hey, placed order 0 times overall time. If that's the case, on the left-hand side, meaning it's the non-customer segment, you're going to ensure that you have the reminder emails there, but you want to be sending them discount codes, or rather the welcome series discount that you know they haven't used because they're in the non-customer segment. What you're essentially trying to do is reiterate your welcome series offer at every single touch point that a non-customer has with your email marketing and your business. What you're doing there is you're getting that offer in front of them and you're trying to get them to get product in hand. The moment they get products in hand and they make that first purchase is when you win, because 80% of your email marketing revenue is going to come from people who place an order once. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get as much product in hand so that you can then make up for any loss in margin on that first sale through the use of a discount code on that second, third, and fourth order, which is cheaper to get because you're not spending as much money on advertising and typically has a higher AOV and doesn't necessarily require an incentive to get them to purchase, meaning the order is higher, your profit margin is higher, and you're more likely to make a return on that 15% down the road. That's what you need to be thinking about when it comes to 2026. You need to be protecting your margin and you need to be focusing on subscription to conversion. How many people turn into first-time customers, okay? Because here's the reality. I don't really care if I have a list of 1,000 people who've never purchased before. I would much rather have a list of 20 people who have purchased before. You need to be focusing on turning as many of those 1,000 people into first-time customers. And if you can't do that profitably with an incentive, you might as well just go ahead and suppress that audience because they're never going to purchase anyway, and really, you're just wasting money on a Klaviyo bill. Those are 3 things. The 4th thing is you want to be using a tool like Klaviyo. Now, I'm an affiliate of these guys. They have not paid me for any promotion in this video, and I do not have an affiliate code, so if you sign up, I don't make any money, but I recommend this tool here. What Klaviyo does is it allows you to track your subscribers for longer. So what happens for Klaviyo is in order for them to trigger flows like the abandoned cart, they're using a pixel to track you or your subscribers within Klaviyo. If that pixel expires and degrades, what ends up happening is that Klaviyo doesn't even register that they're a subscriber and therefore does not trigger the abandoned cart flow. What that means is you're missing out on abandoned cart and abandoned checkout revenue. Okay, you're not sending the flows when you should. What Klaviyo does, there's another tool called Ecommerce as well, which I give a recommended shout out to here as well. They do a very similar thing, is they track your subscribers for longer. Doesn't track anonymous visitors, it tracks your subscribers in your database for longer. And what that means is that you're able to send more abandoned cart flows and abandoned checkout flows, browse abandoned flow emails compared to what you'd previously be able to do, because these guys are tracking your database for longer. And honestly, if you're doing about north of $50K a month, these services pay for themselves easily. I roll this software out for every single one of my clients. And if you're using Shopify, of course, doesn't work with WooCommerce, BigCommerce, or whatever the hell else there is. But for Shopify and Klaviyo, highly recommend this. It makes sense. Also, there's like a 30-day free trial, so you don't have to pay anything. You can actually evaluate the success of it after the 30 days and figure it out from there. That's pretty much it, guys. Those are obviously you can go super nuanced in terms of the structures of your flows. And I'm more than happy to guide you guys through this stuff. If you ever need a hand with that, just grab some time on my calendar and I can do it through a paid coaching call. My time is not free, but I'm more than happy to willing to help you with the email marketing. But honestly, fundamentals have largely stayed the same with email marketing. It's just the strategy and the thinking that you need to be thinking about email marketing in relation to your entire business that has changed. Too many people focus on email marketing in isolation without considering the business as a whole. You need to consider email in the bubble of the business fundamentals itself, and then applying that thinking to your actual email marketing strategy. How does email support your business goals as opposed to how can you support email marketing specific goals? Because email in isolation, if I increase open rates and stuff like that, doesn't really matter if it doesn't move the needle from a business perspective. You need to take that into consideration. If you found this video useful, I appreciate it. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel. I make 3 videos like this every single week, like I said in the intro. Comment down below if you have any questions. I answer anything that you guys have. Check out the description to this video. There's a bunch of free resources. My newsletter's down here. There's a bunch of other cool stuff. There's ways to get in touch with me if you ever need a hand with email marketing. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.